I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stump the Guru show. Hope you're all doing well. End of the year. Should be an exciting show today. If you're new to our show, Stump the Guru, my name is Ari Galper. I specialize in trust-based selling. Been doing this for the last 20 years, 2 decades of my life. And I've seen it all. I've seen every single scenario in sales possible, every challenge. And I come from a different perspective around integrity, trust, a trust-based approach to engaging new clients and not playing the chasing game. And the way this show works is basically, as you're watching right now, you can jump on whenever you like. Just go to stumptheguru.com. That'll put you in the queue. You can ask me a live question. I do a lot of private coaching with clients who bring me their toughest challenges and the recordings. I listen in. I find where the holes are, and I help them optimize their sales process. I am working on a new book next year coming out called The One Call Sale, which should be revolutionary in terms of being able to reduce the sales cycle from multiple steps to one single conversation. Excited about that. I'm using that with my private clients now. They're having great success. And so we have some people in the queue now ready to ask me questions, which I can see coming in. If you're watching today, welcome. If you'd like to ask a live question now, just go to stumptheguru.com. If you want to have a private conversation with me, a complimentary, on the website at the bottom of the screen there should say unlockthegame.com/free consult. So today's theme for the show is, as you probably saw on the posts last week or so, is the whole idea of stop chasing ghosts. And ghosts are people who are in your sales process who tell you things you want to hear, who gets you excited, and you think you have an opportunity, and you're looking forward to it, and your energy's up, and you want to move forward to follow up with them and get them back on the phone again. And you end up being in what I call chasing mode, where you're chasing people who aren't calling you back anymore. And you're wondering, how did I get here? We had a great conversation. All went well. Good chemistry. We were a good fit. They love my solution. They want to think about it, which is fine. And now I've got to chase and follow up with them. So how do we stop chasing ghosts? How do we not create ghosts? And that's the bane of everyone who's an entrepreneur, a business owner, a consultant, advisor, who has a great opportunity with someone early in their process. At the end, they end up having this pipeline of people who don't convert. And our specialty is conversion, how to convert your current leads into new clients in a trust-based manner, a shorter sales cycle, typically in one single conversation, to avoid playing the chasing game. And gosh, if we could solve that problem for so many people, imagine the millions of dollars that are possible to exchange both directions for people to help the business world grow and help you grow as well. So glad to have you here. Welcome. Thanks for being here live. Steve, I think you're back there. Let's pull in our first person who wants to ask a question, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. Ari. Hey, everybody. First, today we're going to have Gina Longo. So she's going to come on and she's going to tell you who she is, Ari, and a little bit about what her issue is and what's going on.
Hi, Gina. Welcome.
Hey, Ari. How are you?
Good to see you.
Okay, so on the theme of ghosts, I'm hoping you can help me avoid creating ghosts in the first place, because I want to get the messaging right the first time so that I don't have that problem down the road.
Smart. Okay.
So I am co-moderating my first executive roundtable coming up in January.
Great.
And I want to invite people to this executive roundtable. Now I'm going to pull primarily from my LinkedIn first level contacts. So I'm going to be able to send them messages. What sort of languaging should I use in the LinkedIn messages? And if I need to get them on a phone call, some people don't have their phone number available on their LinkedIn profile, but I might be able to call them. What languaging should I use in a LinkedIn message or in a phone call to invite them to an ERT? It's not going to be a selling, it's an executive roundtable, so that they're more likely to want to come and join us.
So is it complimentary to them?
Oh yeah. It's an executive roundtable. It's just going to be, we're trying to get a bunch of maybe 6 to 10 executives together to discuss our current topic that we're going to be talking about.
Sure. And what are you hoping might happen from the back of that?
Well, hopefully the back end is they'll see us, me and my co-moderator, as the experts, since we're the ones hosting it. And eventually, we'll get them to see us. I don't know.
Sure.
They'll want to follow up with us somehow, but it's not a selling thing. We're not selling. We're moderators. That's it.
Is your initial complimentary value offer?
Yeah.
Understand. And
where they
so,
get to join with other people in their same sort of space that are facing the same problems. And it's like like I said, it's an executive roundtable. We're all going to get together and discuss these issues and see if we can come up with some solutions for them. But we get
yeah,
to be the experts.
like a mastermind, basically.
Yeah.
Share ideas and brainstorm together. You can moderate the conversation. Great. I love it. I love that entry point. So do you have a target list then of people that you want to approach from your network?
We've just been talking about this, my co-host and I, and it's going to be middle managers or higher, preferably C-suite people, and just whoever we happen to be connected to. We haven't actually got any names yet.
That's
It's not
fine.
till the
All
end of
right.
January.
Okay. So I assume you'll take care of that part.
Yeah.
And the real key then is to come up with a message that does not sell the group, or the opportunity, but really targets the problem. And maybe you make it a new year thing. Maybe you find a theme. It's a new year, strategic thinking, a new way to grow your business. Maybe you have a theme around this and you address an issue that people are having. Have you thought about that at all?
Oh yeah. It's about the Great Resignation. That's our theme.
Okay, so how does that? Is that the problem that they're having themselves? How to find new people?
It's attracting. Either people don't want to come back to work and they're having trouble even getting people to apply, or they're losing people because they're just, the workplace isn't where they want to be anymore.
Okay, so you're theming it around that problem.
Yeah.
And you're suggesting that in the group with their peers, they can brainstorm ideas to work on this problem together.
Exactly.
Is that what you're Okay, so that really narrows it down then. Have you anything written or any draft in your mind yet about how you wanted to approach this?
Nope.
Not yet. Okay. So
I wanted to hear from the master.
No, that's fine. I'd love to also hear your thoughts so we can work on it together. No problem. So I think to make this the safe entry point, I'm imagining in my mind a subject line that would say something to the effect of, would you like to join our group? ...
Okay.
It seems like the kind of thing you just don't want to ignore. Because who knows what kind of group it is. It's an invitation and people love being part of a group.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really working hard here to make sure that your whole framing of how you lay this message out feels like they're being enrolled and invited. They're not being sold anything. That's the most important thing. Is that nothing. I know your intention is not to sell anything, but what matters is how the languaging is laid out, where they feel that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are good people. They're good-hearted. They have no intention of trying to make the sale, but the way they communicate somehow implies they have a hidden agenda.
Right.
So we have to be very careful about the language that we use to convey that authenticity. So
does it matter that this is a one-off and not a mastermind? Because this is just a roundtable.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I just use the word mastermind, but that's all right. It's not a program. I understand.
Right.
So would you like to join our group? ... That feels like 100% winner in terms of an opening headline that you cannot lose with, because it creates curiosity. Then they open it up, the message, and you say, hi, first name, and you always start with, especially people in your first circle of network, you always start with, I hope you are well, ... Right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you can say, I was thinking of you as we are just putting together our first executive roundtable for the new year coming up that will focus on the topic of Great Resignation, losing and keeping people, to grow in the new year. And we're pulling together a group of executives who also have these similar challenges, who have some ideas to share amongst our group. This is a complimentary group we're putting together, and it's a great way to come and get some ideas and share your ideas that could really innovate and grow your business in the new year and really bring new value to your company. There's no fee at all. Would you like to join us? ...
That's perfect. I love it.
So I said that as if I was having a one-on-one conversation with the person.
Right.
I didn't write it like a marketing piece like everyone else does. See, what people do is they separate the message from the conversation. And then their messaging becomes very artificial, very marketing-ish, as we all get in our inboxes now. We get a lot of noise that comes through that you can tell is a cut and paste. Someone from marketing wrote the message. It wasn't a genuine conversation that felt authentic around their problem. So I think when you get the recording of this, you lay that out and make sure you break it into small paragraphs. Don't make it one long paragraph, and just a nice, easy letter. I don't think there's anything in what I just gave you that will trigger any alarms that go off or any problems or any resistance. And obviously, if people reply back and say, it sounds interesting, tell me more, you have a winner of a piece of marketing you can use forever to expand your business. And that's the most important thing people don't understand is your job is to create what I call trust assets, things inside the front of your business that work all the time, evergreen. And all you have to do really, once it starts to work, Gina, is you can replace the topic with a new one every time you wanted to launch a new program.
Yeah.
Same invitation every single time.
That's great. Perfect. I didn't need to come up with anything because I knew you would.
But still,
Thank you.
But that's a great scenario. Thank you for that. Good to see you again. And please come back anytime.
Bye. Thank you.
Great. All right. So if you're new to our Stump the Guru show, welcome. My name's Ari Galper. I've been in this business for 20 years. I've heard every single sales scenario, and I'm waiting for someone to come on the show and stump me today in a humorous way. If you want to jump in, ask me a live question, just come in the queue. Just go to stumptheguru.com. That'll put you in the queue, and we'll hopefully pull you in if we have enough time today. If you want to work with me or talk to me offline, complimentary, just go to unlockthegame.com/free consult, and we'll have a chat about your situation. If you want an X-ray on your sales funnel, complimentary. So let's pull in the next person who's in the queue. I see quite a few people waiting, so let's try and get everybody as much as we can today, Steve.
All righty. So coming up, we have Greg Weiss of Solidify, and he's here in an absolutely marvelous shirt and ready to ask you a question.
Thank you, Steve, and welcome, Greg.
I canned the wrong person.
Oh, there we are. Hi, Greg.
Hey, how's it going, Ari?
Good.
So first, I have to apologize for this attire. I'm just, I hope I've stumped you just alone just with this.
You absolutely have stunned me with the appearance, so you already won out.
Fantastic.
Well, actually, tell people first what you do briefly.
Okay, so I have, my name's Greg Weiss. I've got two businesses, one with a business called Solidify, which looks after, it's a recruitment offering. It specializes primarily in finding make it happen leaders for early stage to mid stage growing businesses. So pairing entrepreneurs with the person who has to make it happen. And the other business that I have, it's been going for quite some years, is we're a market leader in outplacement and career transitioning. So our businesses are primarily B2B.
Well, very relevant right now, which is great.
Yeah. So I've been working with you for several months now, which is great. That's actually why I've changed my wardrobe, because I'm also working with Steve. Okay. The question I have, and I've reached out to a number of referral sources, because if we take your doctor analogy, the doctor has somebody turning up and basically gives a prescription. I get that, but often the doctor is somebody that you've been referred to, or at least a GP refers to a specialist. I'm trying to actually get people to open up and to build a referral base. And I'm struggling, talking about ghosting, I'm struggling with this time of the year, or frankly, any time of the year, for people to actually find that whatever we're offering, whether it's in the Solidify side of things, talking with accountants or business networking groups or coaches, or in the Career 365. So I'd like to talk to employment lawyers, trying to actually get them to respond to anything that we're doing. Right. So talking about ghosting, I'm wondering, it'd be great to get a referral and build up a referral network. How would you, sure. how could I unstump you?
Well, let's focus on that the business where you help entrepreneurs find their second in command, their operations manager. Entrepreneurs who hit a certain level of their business where they need someone else to step in to allow them to grow and do their creative side. And I know you've built with us a trust asset, which is a small mini physical book that you use to explain the issues that you help people solve. And interestingly enough, that we find December and January is our highest rate of opportunity for us, because people seem to read books on holidays. They order books, they're looking forward to books, they're collecting books to keep them busy. So they're not going on LinkedIn and getting addicted to their phone. They're sitting there. They've had enough of what's going on with the festivities. Now they're like, what do I do? And there's the book stacked there. So we're on their phone. So I might suggest to you that it might be actually a really good time right now to reach out these you're talking about middlemen, referrers who have clients like you mentioned EOS, other companies like that.
Yeah.
I think might be a good time to reach out with a message like this, similar to Gina through LinkedIn, your targeted channel that you think.
Okay. And let me tell you, I've taken your advice. You and I have worked together, and I took advice, getting people to notice that. So I don't want to actually chase them, but at the same time, I do want to chase them. Because I've put it out there, I've done 2 headlines. One is free book, and then with a solution, and then nothing saying free book. It's just the curiosity headline.
Well, I suggest then that we try this as well with similar messaging, and because I want to lean it toward the timing of the year. I want to lean it less of a direct offer, but lean it towards the mood of where people are going, similar to her. So I think something to the effect of, subject line, reading a book to read over the holidays. ...
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make this more casual and more conversational.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, John. Hope you are well. I thought about you as I know that you work with business owners and entrepreneurs and who are at the stage of their business where they're looking to grow, and they're also looking to fill out their positioning, the staff positions, to grow their business to allow them to scale. And I've just written a new book called and I thought it might be something you might want to read over the holidays. I'm happy to send you a copy, no charge at all, in the mail. And at your leisure, you can take a look at it. And if it resonates with you and you think there's some value there, that we can have a chat when you get back from the holidays. How's that sound to you? Literally as casual as that. Has nothing to do with working together. Don't use the word referral. Don't add anything to this offer that feels like there's another step in the process. That's what people you see what they do is they try and compress it all together. They say, oh, here's this to see if we can work together. They're like, the guy's like, work together. I don't even have any sense of and what I'm trying to do here is break this down to small baby steps for you so they feel comfortable consuming the first part first without feeling that you have a hook behind it, because you don't unless they resonate with the book. So I might suggest that messaging to kind of ease off the next step, and don't mention the referrals, don't mention anything else, but focus on that because they will relate to that message because that's the business clients they work with. And why not read a free book on a topic that can help their clients? That's really a hard offer to refuse.
Yeah. So in doing that, my single message was that, and I wanted to, and so I've reached out to people. Often, I mean, I get ghosted all the time, sadly. So I'm trying to work out. I'm used to the idea of, okay, here's a pipeline. I'm creating this thing now, following up. What would you recommend about an appropriate follow-up time if there's no response at this time of the year?
Okay, so you're first trying LinkedIn, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have a response there, and you don't have a phone number,
Not yet.
right?
Not yet. Unlikely.
Okay, so it's really not following up. It's really following up assumes you already had a first step in your process. You're not at the follow-up stage with them at all. You're only at the first stage, which is, does the offer resonate enough for them to accept it?
True.
So let's break this down. So step one is they have to first accept the first step in the process. Then after that is, quote, the follow-up process from there. So let's assume then that someone says to you, that sounds good. Happy to read your book. No obligation. Sure, here's my address. Goes in the mail. So after the holidays, drop a note. It goes like this. Hi, John. Hope you're well. Just want to make sure you received the book okay. And was curious as to what your feedback was about the topic and the content in the book. ... That's it. That's your follow-up from the first offer asset. See, that's connected. it's not a chasing. It's a connected thing where they feel like, okay, he sent me something of value. I should at least explain to him I got it, which people do normally, and here's my thoughts about it. So now, that's step number 3 is if the response is positive, they got the book and it's interesting to them, and yeah, they have some clients who whatever can connect to it. Say then your next step would be, thank you so much for your feedback. I really appreciate that. Would you be open to a brief conversation or a brief chat about how you think this might apply to some of your clients you might have? Would you be open to that? Because I am now expanding my partnership program. See, now there's something in it for them. A partnership program might mean a referral or something back to them. Now you're building a network, a system. See, so we put there 3 small baby steps there that if it's the right target market and it's the right offer and the right message, should connect. If it's not connecting, that means we have to retweak the offer again.
Okay, and to get people to take a first step in having email sent out a message, an in-mail message, say through LinkedIn.
To accept that.
So go down that track with me, because they're the ones that I'm saying, okay, let's just for argument's sake, yesterday, day before, a few days ago, ended up, I think I've got a pipeline now of about 30 possible consultants to refer business to eventually. But the point is, I've got this trusted asset, and all I'm interested in doing is getting that in their hands. How do I follow up to make sure that they've, 1, seen it, and 2 is to actually take action to get free book?
Are you saying you've already mailed it to 30 people?
I've reached out to get them to be interested in taking the book.
What does that reach out look like? What did you write in that message?
What's the message? Along the lines of a problem. This is when you're normally involved with your organizations. You know how important it is to get.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the other side, first try what I just gave you.
Yeah.
As a casual test today, find 10 accountants, 10 professionals who could be partners for you, and use what I gave you today and see if that works.
I'll do that.
The other thing is tweaking the other message. Let's do that together when we talk offline coming up next couple of days. We'll do that together. That's the general concept. Is we're going to work on tightening up that offer so they accept it, which creates a next baby step. And the next baby step, so there's always a connection, no chasing anymore. That's the goal.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Great to see you again. Talk to you soon.
You too. Take care.
All right, welcome to Stump the Guru. You're chiming in live right now. If you're coming to our show for the first time, we have this once a month. It's live on the spot, without a net coaching, where you can bring me your toughest sales challenges, and I can give you instant answers based on our trust-based selling approach. My name is Ari Galper, and welcome. Let's bring in our next guest for today. Steve, what do we have?
All righty. So it looks like Peter's having technical difficulties. So next up is going to be Jeff Patterson. He's coming in live as we speak. Here we go. Hey, Jeff, how are you today? Why don't you let Ari know who you are, what's the name of your company, and what you're all about, and what your question is.
Jeffrey Patterson. Good to see Ari.
Hey, Jeff.
The name of my company is Finnegan, Charles, Rasnick, and Patterson, and I am an attorney headhunter. Which is a bad word, but it's an old habit that's going to die hard. So, as you know, actually, this question just came to me as I logged on. I'm trying to ratchet up activity on LinkedIn because my book will be published soon, and Steve was explaining I'm relatively new to LinkedIn, and so. My activity level is just about non-existent, and apparently this is going to fall on deaf ears if I don't ratchet up the activity. So how often, in terms of just drumming up activity, like citing an article, commenting on an article, liking somebody else's post, commenting on somebody else's post, just activity in general, how often should I be doing something on LinkedIn?
Well, the extreme answer is as much as possible.
10x.
Yeah, because there are a lot of rules that the LinkedIn experts say that you should not do. Like people say, don't only post one post a week or one post every couple of days, because the algorithm won't expand your messages fast enough if you do too much. Okay.
Mhm.
So, right. So we do as much as possible. We don't need our message to go out to thousands of people, right? Because we're in a low volume, high margin, high trust business, which you are as well. So I would suggest that not only do you connect and bring people into your network that are on both sides of what you do. One is the authorities who hire you, obviously an entertainer, and also the attorneys who are looking to make a move. You both bring them, but also that you have a system, a regular pattern, a pattern of some sort. Maybe say every other week or twice a week, you post up an article on there of some sort that's content related. You mentioned your book coming out soon. You have some brief video that of you being interviewed about your content. So I think if you have a rhythm that becomes a system for yourself, that's the answer. Otherwise, it gets very overwhelming. You start feeling guilty for not posting something up in the last couple of days. You're like, oh, I should be doing some more work. And that's what allowed me to release myself from that sort of guilt of not doing something on LinkedIn. That's the first thing, is a consistent pattern.
Mhm.
And then the next thing is it's once you have that pattern and your network starts to see that you are visible and you are providing interesting ideas and insights, then we can come up together with a way to engage them directly, because you'll be on the first connection. And that's where you can use your trust asset to essentially generate a conversation. Where
Right.
let's just say, for instance, you have a law firm partner of a large firm who happens to be on your network. They've been quiet for a long time and dormant. And all of a sudden, the interview's posted about you, about one of your topics, and they like your message, or they make a quick comment. And you go, oh, okay, that guy's engaged. He's been watching. Then you can go and send him a message that says, hi, Mike, Jeff here. I just want to thank you so much for interacting and appreciating the content that I'm posting up about the topic of XYZ. I was just curious, would you be open to having me send you a copy of my book on this topic as well for your review? Would love your feedback on that, ...
Mhm.
That's how you move them from a passive observer of what you do into an engaged conversation where they start moving down your process to a live book, a live conversation, then an onboarding meeting from there. That's really the path of how you start feeding your funnel, so it's consistent over and over again until it becomes a system. Now, one thing to consider too is, in your case, the content that you have is really it's not unlimited, it's framed, and you could basically create these mini posts in advance based upon your content that you do, and just set them to go automatically out once a week for the next, whatever time frame, say 6 months, and then you can repeat them all over again. People forget stuff within a couple of days. So, like I have, for instance, videos that I've created over the years that are preset to go out, plenty of them that repeat then after about a year, because it's really the core content I want people to understand about our philosophy, what we do, and that it now gets me off the hook for having to create more content. I just got an email today from a coach saying, one on their list saying, here's a plan for more content creation this year. Do this, do that, do that, do this. I'm like, I don't want to do more work. I want to create the best preset content as possible. Now, obviously, if I have something fresh to do, I'll put it up there. But really, the big idea here is building out a system that is repeatable. We can talk about that offline.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yes, thank you.
All right, Jeff, good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome to the Stump the Guru show. We're halfway through. If you want to jump in now, ask me a quick question, come on in. Just go to stumptheguru.com, just like it sounds. Stumptheguru.com, and it'll take you to our queue, and we'll pull you in, ask me a question live. This is recorded as well. If you missed it, you can come back and watch as well without having to take any notes. Again, my name is Ari Galper with Trust-Based Selling, and this is our last show of the year. So come on in. Let's see who do we have next, Steve, in our queue back there.
All righty. So up next, we have Antonio Kenyatta. He's a repeat customer. He's been back here before, and he's got another great question for you, Ari. So, Antonio, introduce yourself to everybody who hasn't met you from previous episodes, and
Sure.
let Ari know your question.
Hey,
Great.
Antonio.
Well, hey, Ari. Always a pleasure. Antonio Kenyatta, a financial advisor. Obviously, I work with you, Ari, and can continue to do that. And so my question is, I'm in the process of offering like continuing education type courses to the medical field, mainly targeted to those fresh out of school in their internship type phase to deal with their debt problem. Really just helping them, focusing on that problem, managing that debt, showing them
That's
how
a
they
big
can get out
problem,
of
isn't
debt.
it?
Yeah, exactly. But my problem, my question, the challenge I want to get some insight from you on is, in the class will be those primary individuals, but there'll also be someone, there'll also be a doctor who's got his own practice, probably has very little debt, if any debt, and it's probably in a good space per se, just getting his CE credits done. And so my question was, what would make sense, or how could I, but the goal is to get as many people to join the platform. What ideas could I be reaching out to him or her to say, hey, in addition to obviously solving debt problems for students, we have a whole host of other services, but I'm not really sure a good angle that I might make a lot of sense. So
are these people that you're calling on the phone? You have a list of people who are. Tell me more about the tactical process here.
Sure. So the tactical process that we're often sort of a CE credit class, and so they'll get, they'll understand the bio, they'll like the topic, and they'll show up for the class. And
so you're working for this company has the classes, you're saying, and you have a list of the student roster?
Yes.
And you're calling them after the course is over, or during, or before?
No. So basically, after the course is over, after they've gotten their training, we'll get a 5-minute pitch to talk about our services.
Oh, so you'll be speaking to the group physically?
Correct.
Oh, okay. So let me understand this right. So you're going to be going out and presenting for 5 minutes at the end of the course to these graduates around the idea of helping them with their debt.
Correct.
Okay, now I got it. Okay.
And in addition to the room, there'll be people who might not have a problem with their debt.
I understand. So you're telling me you're trying to address the different groups in the room. One group has debt problems and one group may not.
Right.
So what's their problem that you want to help them solve? Who don't have their problems?
I think that if they probably have a decent practice, maybe.
So retirement issues, financial services,
retirement, or maybe even having someone on the platform that can help them with business coaching. Maybe maybe they're they're good, but maybe hey, we could all use a coach.
So
right?
how to grow their practice then?
Yeah.
All right.
How to think outside their own head, or how to grow their practice, or maybe they're still hungry for more. Maybe there's another, just to kind of like open the door.
So how are you being positioned? How are you being introduced to the group? How are they introducing you as what?
So at the end there'll be we're sponsoring it. So a few words from our sponsor in loose terms, and so I'll get up and do a little pitch about what we offer, really focusing on our primary problem is those with the debt.
Okay.
But again, there are others in the room.
So let me suggest that you not go in and spend that time talking about your services.
Okay.
What I'd rather you do is educate them on what happens next after this course.
Okay.
Walk them through the roadmap of what they're about to experience. Now that you graduated from this program, some of you in the room are going to go out to the field and grow your practice, but you're going to be left with debt that you have to pay back in your career. And if you're in that situation, raise your hand if you're in that situation. You have some debt. Okay, we specifically help physicians and doctors manage that appropriately so they can maximize the profits from their own practice to take home. If you have some ideas for that, we'll have a chat about that afterwards. Now, for those of you in the room who aren't concerned about that issue, but want to grow your practice, maybe even scale it or retire at some point, if you want some ideas and insights around that, we provide coaching around that as well. How to think differently about your practice. So we cover both areas. For those of you who want to help on that, and we're offering today, because you're here, a complimentary consultation. No fee at all, waiving the fee for you to schedule a call with me, discuss this at the end of the course. So if you'd like to speak with me, meet me over here afterwards. We'll talk then.
Okay, beautiful.
Now, what was not in there?
Selling.
There was nothing in there about your company.
Right.
At all.
Right.
They don't care about your logo and your sponsorship and your company. That has no value. That's not relevant. All they care about is you as a human being, and they're looking at you, listening to you, and they're asking themselves, "Do I trust him?
Right.
Is he relevant to me?
Right.
Is he talking to me
Right.
about my business?" That's all they're tuning to. So you got to really make sure you're connecting to them.
It's so true. Thank you. This is beautiful.
Good to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, thank you. We'll be in touch soon.
See you soon. No worries.
Thanks, Ari.
All right. So, gosh, we're at the tail end of our Stump the Guru show. I see more people coming in the queue. If you want to get in, if you can, go to stumptheguru.com. This is where you can really throw me your wildest, craziest sales challenge. Our theme today is stop chasing ghosts. You know who they are, right? People who show interest but never call you back. And you're like, how did I get here? And why am I calling these people? You have a huge pipeline. Only a few convert, and the rest just disappear on you. And you wonder, why does this keep happening? Well, we can help you solve that problem. We do it all the time in our consulting business with our clients. So if you want to reach out for a consultation privately, complimentary, go to unlockthegame.com/free consult. So let's bring in some few more people for the show today. Steve, who else do we have in the queue?
So we had Peter in the queue, but he's having technical issues. He's our last guest for today. I do have his question. If you'd like me to read it, that's up to you. I'll leave that up to your decision.
Let's give it a shot. Read it through. Let's see how it sounds.
So his question was on, and I'm going to be reading here after the private chat section here. Any useful tips around closing? He's got a lot of consultants that engage people well in the conversation process or in the conversion process. However, they struggle to close it out. And they're getting comments such as, let me think about it. And a lot of the typical things that we probably hear. And he's just trying to find a way to help people get past that so they can have a better rate and at least bringing those conversations to a conclusion.
Okay. This goes to my new book coming out next year called The One Call Sale, which is how to not close people at all, but how to onboard them on one conversation based upon deep trust, where you're able to unpack their issues at a deep level. It's called going down the iceberg, where you help them understand their own problem. You help them amplify the issue where they understand the impact of not solving it. And you ask them this question: is this a priority for you to solve once and for all? Or is something you're happy to live with long-term and deal with it later on your own? And I'm okay either way. You got to put the ball in their court. And it's like a therapist and a patient, right? The patient doesn't own the problem. They're going to want to think about it, right? And my contention and the answer here to Peter, and we'll talk Peter offline too about this, is that the sale is made at the beginning of the conversation and not the end. See, we're under the impression that from the old school training we've had over the years, we're supposed to close the sale. Why am I losing this at the end? Why am I getting it? I want to think about it. I'll talk to my wife about it. I want to digest it. Why are we getting this? Because somewhere along the way, trust was broken, where they didn't feel comfortable giving you a yes or a no. Or you disengage with them if they're not a fit. That's how we tighten up the process. And if you want to learn more about this, reach out to me and I can walk you through this model. It's revolutionary. And I have clients right now who are converting at 100% of all their qualified prospects who have their call with them scheduled on a Zoom call or a phone call. They're onboarding seamlessly without chasing people at all. And that's my mission, is to help people stop chasing these ghosts. Imagine the amount. I just had recently had a consulting call actually just this morning. And the CEO was saying to me, our team is doing well. We're converting 20% of all of our opportunities. And I said to him, well, what happened to the other 80%? Where do they go? So, well, some weren't qualified. I said, about how much? 10%. I said, what happened to the rest of them? And that was the big mic drop moment when he realized that he was only focused on how much they were making. He wasn't focused on the problem and how much they were losing. And how much you're losing is where your pot of gold is. You don't need more money on marketing to solve this problem. What you need is a methodology to convert at a higher rate, which you currently have. And if you're in a low volume, high price point business that's high trust, this is all you should be working on. So on that note, anyone else want to jump in real quick? Go to stumptheguru.com and we'll have you come on the show and ask me a question. If not, I want to thank you all for being part of the show this year. And we're going to continue this in 2022 every month we'll have the show. Just keep your eye out on LinkedIn or on social media to be ready to join live. And the recordings you can get from our previous shows are at unlockthegame.com/stumptheguru to watch the previous shows, to learn from that. And look out for the One Call Sale book next year. We get on the content early and learn about how to make that work for you now in the new year. Reach out to us at unlockthegame.com/free consult to have a conversation with us and experience what it's like not to get a sales pitch. That experience in itself will be a learning lesson for you. So again, I want to say to thank Steve, my co-host, everybody else for a great, fantastic year. Hang in there. Next year will be amazing if you're open to changing the way you think about how you onboard and approach new clients. If you do it from a point of trust this way, you cannot lose. Have a great evening, day, morning, wherever you are around the world. And signing off for now. Be well.
I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.